Here we go. Hi, Brenda.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you, dear?
I'm wonderful. I just wanted to make sure that you can see and hear me okay.
Yep, we sure can. We sure
Perfect.
can. Thank you
Thank you
so much
so
for
much.
joining us.
Of course, thank you so much for having us. And I wanted to say, of course, thank you so much for the wonderful fundraiser that you organized the last time that we saw each other. And I definitely wanted to give everyone a little update. Since the last fundraiser, we were actually able to take in 9 evacuated horses from a fire that occurred in Calistoga, the glass fire. All 9 of those horses have since returned to their permanent home, which is wonderful. And we were able to provide them with that safe haven that was so important during that time. And we also were able to take in a mama goat and her 3 kids. Those residents are still here with us. I believe they are going to their permanent home either today or tomorrow. So hopefully at the end of this tour, I want to try to save a couple of moments so we can sneak into their area and I could show you guys some adorable baby goats. I think that will be so much fun. What I would love to do, I know that we only have 30 minutes, but I definitely wanted to give everyone a as full of a spectrum tour as I possibly could in the 30 minutes that we have today. So what I'm going to do is I am going to flip my camera around here. And let me see if I can make this full screen for everybody. Christy, can you tell me if you can see some adorable little piggies on your screen right now?
Yes, we certainly can. Oh my goodness,
Perfect.
so cute.
Awesome. I know that this area of the sanctuary, this is actually located all the way at the opposite end of the entrance. So sometimes the internet here can be a little bit spotty, but definitely let me know if you're having any issues whatsoever. But I wanted to give you and all of our viewers here just a glimpse of as many residents as we possibly can for this
Oh,
tour. The Belly Pasture here is one of my favorite places to be. As you can see here, we have one of our adorable residents here, Mr. Tofu, and he's just munching away on the morning grass here. It's one of the best things that they love to do every single day. Like Tofu, many of our residents here in this pasture were actually taken in as a result of them being sold as quote unquote teacup pigs. But of course, teacup pigs actually don't really exist. They're just baby piglets, and they do eventually grow up to be either full grown larger pigs or full grown potbelly pigs. So oftentimes with many of the potbellies that we have here today, they actually grew to be rather large and too large for their previous home environment. So Tofu is just one of the pigs that we have here that was previously living in a private home, but he unfortunately was not able to stay in that private home with the result of him growing to be too large. But of course, here at Charlie's Acres, one of the best things that we do for our pig residents is we provide them with this large pasture area here where they're able to engage in their normal behaviors, such as rooting and nesting. And as you can see, all of these adorable pigs are just absolutely loving all of the space that they have here. Let's get a couple of close-ups here of Mr. Robert. Hi, sweet boy. Robert is another one of our adorable residents who was also part of a quote-unquote teacup pig situation, but he is now very, very happy getting to spend his days here with us. And I also wanted to show you guys one of our other adorable residents here. This beautiful girl is Miss Petunia. And Petunia here actually came from a laboratory situation. She was rescued from an organization called the Beagle Freedom Project, who actually specializes in rescuing animals that come from laboratory settings. And with Petunia here, we are assuming that she was being used for cosmetics testing based on some of the markings that she has on her ears and some of the notches that she has, and also because of her very fair pink skin. But we're honestly not 100% sure if she was used for cosmetics testing, but we do know that she definitely was being used for laboratory experiments. Right now, of course, as you can see, she is living her best life here at Charlie's Acres, and she loves to spend her days just roaming the pasture here And she also loves to be inside of our main barn for our potbelly pigs, which is right ahead of me. And she loves to build a little nest for herself. That's one thing that pigs really love to do as a way to allow themselves to feel safe and secure. So that's one of Petunia's favorite places to be. Also here, we're passing by Miss Bella as well. Bella is definitely one of our pigs that really is an independent spirit. She loves to just kind of do her own thing. And I know that she has this adorable little wrinkly face, and we always just want to give her lots of smooches. But Bella just really, like I said, likes to be kind of a loner. She just really likes to have her own space and be able to interact as she pleases. But she is super, super adorable. Also, I wanted to show you guys Miss Peppa Pig here, who is definitely one of our residents that is a big hit with children because of her name being named after the character Peppa Pig. And Peppa here was also one of our residents that did come from a teacup pig situation as well. Even though she is pretty small, as you can imagine, having a pig her size in a smaller like studio or an apartment can definitely not be ideal. And it also limits their ability to engage in those natural behaviors. So being in a sanctuary setting is definitely an ideal place for her. And I always also just love to zoom in on their cute little wagging tails because that's one of my favorite things to see. And also because pig butts are just the cutest thing ever. And also in this pasture, I know that we're going to do kind of a abbreviated little short tour in each area just to make sure we can get as much time in as we can. But I know in this pasture, it is also incredibly important for pigs to have a water source as well. Here we have one water source that is directly in front of me. It's a small pond area. And we also have another pond that is directly in the back of the pasture. So our residents here actually have two different watering holes, which is incredibly important for them to be able to regulate their body temperature and keep themselves nice and cool, especially in the summer months. I'm not sure if a lot of people know this, but pigs actually do not have the ability to sweat like humans. They do not have sweat glands. So it's incredibly, incredibly vital for them to have that water source in order to cool their bodies down. And they also love to cover themselves in mud as well, which is one of the biggest ways that they keep their body temperature regulated. Oh, what are you doing? Are you going to start rooting? Oh my gosh. As I mentioned, Miss Petunia here just loves to be inside of this main barn. And of course, we always provide ample hay in order for them to be able to build their nests and engage in their natural behaviors, which is so important. And again, we just got to zoom up on that cute little butt. You are so adorable, Petunia. So what we're going to do now, everybody, is we are going to take a little bit of a walk down toward the main area of the sanctuary. But as we are walking down this main path, we're going to be making a few pit stops so I can show you guys some of the many areas that we do have here. I also wanted to mention for those of you who are not already familiar with us here at Charlie's Acres, we are located in beautiful Sonoma, California, and we do have 32 beautiful acres of land here that is fully devoted to our animal residents. Currently, we have 150 permanent farmed animal residents that do live here. They do range between pigs and chickens and turkeys and cows and goats and sheep and so many more. This beautiful little one here is actually one of our Mangalitsa pigs. Mangalistas are a Hungarian breed of pig, and with the Mangalistas that we have, they were actually purchased as a way of being a quote unquote cash in for their previous owner. He was planning on using them for meat and selling them for slaughter, but with that owner, he also had a mother who was a 30-year vegetarian, and little did he know that his mother would actually convince him ultimately to surrender all of the pigs to sanctuary. So we actually took in, I believe it was 10 of those Mangalitsa pigs, which now live a very happy life here at Charlie's Acres. And I do want to show you guys right in this area, we'll get a good view from over the fence here. This is one of our largest areas that we have here at the sanctuary, and this is where we keep many of our larger farm pig residents. Here in this pasture, they have a ton of room where they're allowed to graze, they're allowed to play, and they also have a large pond right in the middle of their pasture here. That pond is something that we are constantly regulating and making sure that it's nice and large for them to all be able to go for a swim. But as you can see, many of our pigs are kind of out and about at the back of the pasture there. But we do have one of our little beauties, I believe that's Victor, that just was over by the pond. Are you going to come over and say hi? Hello.
Aw.
I always love being able to show our guests our farmed pigs because they are just absolutely beautiful. The pigs that we have here, they do range in size anywhere between about 450 all the way up to almost 600 pounds. Hello, beautiful. Hi. So farmed pigs can actually grow to be rather large in size, of course. Can we get a good view of your little face? Hi. Hello. They can grow to be rather large in size, and of course they are also very strong as well, and they can also be pretty territorial depending on the situation. Usually if there's food involved, you'll often hear pigs making that type of squeal that you just heard, or if they are kind of battling for attention as well. But one fun fact that I love to mention about pigs is that actually in the movie Jurassic Park, a lot of the dinosaur sounds that they used were actually pig sounds, which is pretty remarkable. But pigs are incredibly fascinating creatures. Potbelly pigs and larger farm pigs, they really use their noses as the best way to navigate their environment and also to search for food as well. And also with pigs, they are incredibly intelligent. There's actually studies that prove that pigs can play video games with a joystick, which is pretty awesome. And of course, they're able to solve puzzles and use different enrichment items as well. So pigs are pretty awesome. And I know a few of the pigs that we have here, our animal care staff has actually trained them via clicker training in order to sit and be able to accept treats. So they're actually very trainable like dogs, which is pretty awesome and really shows how smart they truly are. We will continue our walk here. I'm going to keep a good eye on the time so we can make sure that we save some time for questions. But we are going to take a little bit of a walk here down our main sanctuary path here. And this is the path that we call the sanctuary loop. And this loops all the way around the entire sanctuary. And it was designed this way in order to allow our animal care staff to have easy access to every animal area. You'll also notice that we do have multiple barns that are set up all around the sanctuary. We actually have barns for every single individual group that we have here. Hello, you guys. So we have here, I believe, Lucky and Rudy here, and both of them are two of our 4 mini cows that we have. Hello. Can we see your nose? Oh my gosh. Hello, baby. Hi. So we have 4 mini cows that do live here at the sanctuary, and all 4 of our mini cows were actually rescued from various meat industry situations, whether they were from like a backyard breeding situation or from like a farming situation. But many of these residents did come from the meat industry, and they are, of course, now safe and sound here at Charlie's Acres. I also wanted to show you guys, if I can get a good close-up of one of our mini cows here. He is a very handsome boy named Mitch. Hi, Mr. Mitch. Hello, gorgeous boy. So Mitch here is, again, one of our mini cows that is a mix between a Dexter and a Longhorn cow. When he first came to us about 3 years ago, he had very teeny tiny small little horns, but as you can see now, his horns are fully grown. Oh, Mr. Mitch, can we see your horns? baby. His horns are fully grown and they are just absolutely incredible. If you guys ever do come and visit us in person, you will absolutely get to see Mitch up close and get to see just how gorgeous and majestic he is. With his horns, you'll notice that they are full grown. We do not engage in any kind of dehorning procedures here at Charlie's Acres. If an animal comes to us with their horns, they are allowed to keep their horns. And the biggest reason for that is because horns are full of nerve endings and blood vessels. And by removing those horns, it is actually incredibly painful for these animals. And oftentimes it's done without anesthesia. So that's one of the biggest reasons why we allow them to keep them, because we do not want to inflict any kind of trauma upon these animals, especially because they've already been through so much in their lives. But Mr. Mitch is absolutely handsome, and I'm surely hoping that you guys will come and pay us a visit in person. Look at that tongue. Oh my gosh. As I mentioned, we are, of course, open for different types of tours here at the sanctuary. We, of course, do virtual tour experiences through Airbnb, and we also do offer in-person and private tours. We have in-person community tours every Saturday and Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, and we also do offer private tours as well for those individuals that would like to come and visit us in more private groups. I will just come in here and just get a good close-up of some of our beautiful cows. Hello, you guys. I just wanted to show you some of these amazing, amazing animals up close here. Jade is one of our most vocal cows. She knows that her friend Simon is in one of the stalls eating his morning breakfast. And as you can see, she's definitely a talker. Usually anytime that there's food, she is definitely all about it. She absolutely loves grass hay. Also over here, we have Miss Honey. And Honey is just absolutely gorgeous. She came to us from the dairy industry, and she was actually used in the dairy industry for almost 10 whole years of her life prior to coming here to Charlie's Acres. But she now has her forever home here with us in this very large pasture area. This pasture alone is, I believe, about 3.5 acres just for our cow residents. So they absolutely have ample room where they can romp around and play and just engage in all of their natural behaviors, which is so, so important. Also with Honey, we did rescue her with her baby boy, Benjamin. We'll get a good close-up of Mr. Ben here. As you can see, Benjamin is not so much of a baby anymore. He is about 2 years old, but I like to call him our gentle giant that we have here at the sanctuary. He's incredibly, incredibly sweet. He absolutely loves people and he loves all of his friends. And he loves his mother, Honey, so, so much that he still attempts to nurse off of her, which really just goes to show how much of a connection they do have with one another. Also, we have here Miss Juno, and Juno is just keeping a good eye on her best friend Jade here. Jade and Juno came to us as a result of a court case that happened here in California. They were both originally scheduled to be slaughtered, but they were actually rescued as a result of a lawsuit that happened with a group of animal activists. So we were able to rescue Jade and Juno, and 2 other cows were a part of that court case as well. They both went to one of our very dear friend partner sanctuaries called Farm Sanctuary. But we have in this pasture here 6 total cow residents. I will show you guys Mr. Simon as well. Miss Winona here is also just hanging out. She's another one of our girls that was also rescued from the dairy industry as well. And Mr. Simon, let me show you guys a good view of him here. And I know, again, I apologize that we're moving a little bit quickly. I definitely just want everybody to see as much of the sanctuary as we possibly can today. Oh my gosh, Miss Juno. You guys are really wanting Simon's food, huh? So let me just give you guys a glimpse. We have here in this stall here, we have one of our youngest residents here, Mr. Simon. Simon is just eating some of his morning breakfast. He is definitely one of our youngest residents. He just turned 1 year old, actually last week, Sunday. And he is just eating his breakfast in here just to make sure that all of the other cows allow him to eat his breakfast, especially because there is a hierarchy with cows. And Simon was the last cow to enter this group. So once he's done eating his breakfast, he'll be able to be out in the pasture with all of his other cow friends. But Simon, like I said, celebrated his first birthday with us last week, Sunday. And we actually had a lovely birthday celebration where one of our animal staff members did bake some very special cow-friendly cupcakes, and all of our cows were able to partake, which was super, super fun. Simon actually came to us as a result of the petting zoo industry. And he came to us when he was only 2 months old. And now that he's a year, he's definitely growing nice and big and strong and becoming even more handsome. So we're just super, super excited to see how much more larger he gets and how much more cuter he gets, because he's just such a lover and such a darling. Also in this barn, we have Mr. Dakota here. Dakota is one of our horses that was actually a show horse in Canada before he came here to live with us. He's about 18 years old now, and he actually came to us because his previous owners thought that he was being quote unquote lazy as far as not wanting to perform any longer. But in reality, he just has some issues with his joints that really needed special attention. So he is on special glucosamine and joint supplements. And he, of course, now being at the sanctuary, is not being used for any kind of performance. He's not being used for riding. The only thing that Dakota has to do is just be himself and spend every single day here being happy and healthy. So Mr. Dakota also has a roommate as well. When we go out of this barn, we'll see if we can get a good close-up of Mr. Scotch. We'll see if we can find where he is here. Where is Mr. Scotch? He must be hiding here. I do not see him in this pasture, so I do oh, there he is. Hi, Mr. Scotch. So Scotch is way over here on the opposite side of the pasture, just hanging out and just checking us out. But Scotch is, like I said, Dakota's best friend. They love to spend every single day together. Scotch is also one of our residents that is deaf, so he is not able to hear, and he was actually born deaf. And he came to us after he previously lost his former companion, who did pass away at his previous home. So his former owner did realize the importance of companionship and did not want Scotch to be alone. So we were able to pair him with Mr. Dakota, and they both get along fabulously. As we continue our walk here, we can make a stop in one of our goat pastures. And also, I see that we have a community tour that's going on right now with our sheep. So we may have to just quickly go through the sheep area, but I definitely wanted to show you guys some of the cute little baby goats that we were able to take in, the ones that I mentioned a little bit earlier. But we will make a stop in here with some of our goats. We'll continue our walk down the path here. We actually have two different goat pastures. We have this one here that is directly in front of us, and this pasture is home to many of our teenage boy adolescent goats who are incredibly playful, and they have very long horns. We won't be going in their pasture today because, especially for tours, sometimes they like to sneak up right behind us and just give us a little bump when we're trying to do the tours, but they're all incredibly sweet. If you do come and visit us in person, we'll definitely be able to have you guys say hello from outside of the fence line. But we will be able to come in to this beautiful pasture, and we get to say hi to some of these adorable residents. Now, I know that some of you may have been tuned in during the last mini tour that we gave, where we did introduce you guys to some of our beautiful goats. So we have here Miss Mary Ann. Oh, Mary Ann, are you being camera shy, sweet girl? Hi. Mary Ann is one of our residents that was actually rescued from the dairy industry. Oh, she sees the work vehicle here, so she's just super curious. But Mary Ann is one of our La Mancha goats that was rescued from the dairy industry, along with her adopted mother, Ginger. While they were living at the dairy, Mary Ann unfortunately did lose her birth mother, and it is so important, of course, in their growth and development to be able to have that type of maternal figure in their life. And her best friend and adopted mother, Ginger, came to live with us as well because they were extremely closely bonded with one another. And of course, here at Charlie's Acres, we always strive to keep those closely bonded animals together. We'll get a good view here of Miss Ginger. Hi, sweet girl. And Ginger, as I mentioned, also came from the same larger dairy as Miss Mary Ann. And Ginger, while she was living at the dairy, did suffer from a very severe case of mastitis, which is a infection of the udder that often occurs when an animal is overmilked in the dairy industry. And Ginger's case was so severe that it was actually life-threatening. So without treatment, Ginger may not be here with us today, and we are just extremely thankful that we were able to rescue Miss Ginger and also Miss Mary Ann and be able to provide them with such vital care that really did save her life. Ginger here is also a perfect example of how resilient these animals can be, especially after they have gone through so many different traumatic experiences. And Ginger is also one of our residents here that absolutely loves people, especially children. So if any of you do ever decide to visit us in person, Ginger is one of our residents that I can guarantee if you bring kids, she will absolutely be following you around and just wanting lots of pets and lots of love. She's definitely a sweetheart. Also in this area, before we make our way over to say hi to some of the babies, let's introduce you guys to Miss Hannah. Hi, sweet girl. Hannah is another one of our beautiful residents here who was also rescued from the dairy industry. And very similar to Ginger, Hannah did also develop a case of mastitis as well. But with Hannah, we were not only able to provide her with a safe and loving home, but we also rescued her baby girl, Margaret, who of course came over here at the perfect time. Margaret and Hannah are both boar goats, which is why they have these long, beautiful, floppy ears and these gorgeous brown and white colors, which is just so amazing. Margaret here was also born with a condition called inverted eyelids, and that means that her eyelids were actually flipped in the opposite direction of how they normally should be when they're born. So she did require corrective surgery in order to ensure that her eyes stay nice and healthy. And of course, she's doing wonderful being here with her mother, Hannah. And Hannah is a absolutely fabulous mother. She's always keeping a good eye on her baby girl. My sweetheart. And also, before we make our way over to say hi to some of the little babies that we rescued, I wanted to show you guys this very spunky little gentleman here. This is Mr. Louie. And as you can see, Louie loves to scratch his head on anything possible. He absolutely loves people and he's super duper affectionate. He's one of our residents that was actually rescued from the 2017 campfire that happened in Paradise, California. Let me see if I can get a good front view of him here. He sees all of our guests here for the community tour, so he's super excited to be able to engage with them. But Louie is definitely one of our residents that is extremely, extremely playful and super duper sassy. Even though he's small, being a Nigerian dwarf goat, I always say that he has the biggest personality and he's just such a lover. He also loves people. You can see we do have a tour that's going on right next door, and Louie is ready for those tour guests to come on in. He's keeping an eye on them, and he's just really excited because he sees some children, and he also loves children as well. What we're going to do now, you guys, I know that we are coming up on the end of our 30-minute time. But while we save some time for questions and other comments, I wanted to walk over to our main receiving barn. And that way, as we're asking questions, I wanted to show you guys some of the adorable babies that we were able to rescue. So I'm just going to cut right through one of our main gates here that goes into our main sheep yard. And as I mentioned, we do have a tour that is going on right now. I do want to say a quick hello here to Mr. Roger, who is one of my favorite residents. He's one of my best friends. He's also blind as well. So he is just absolutely lovable. He was also rescued from the meat industry as well. Miss Della here also wanted to come over and say hello. And she was actually rescued after being found abandoned in someone's backyard. So all of the sheep that we do have here are rescued from various different situations. Some of our sheep are a lot more social compared to others, like Miss Lucy here, who absolutely loves people. She's one of the most dog-like personalities that we do have here. And then also we have another group of sheep that will just pass by here. They are a little bit more shy, so I always just respect their space, especially when we do any kind of in-person or virtual tours. We have Donald and Catherine, the two brother and sister sheep here. We also have Mr. Boots as well, who's super handsome. Miss Mama, who is Roger's best friend and one of our beautiful special needs sheep. She actually only has 3 legs, and we're getting a prosthetic limb made for her. So she's able to get around incredibly well, but we always just want to give our animals the best chance of comfort and mobility as possible. And then also we have Miss Mira, and she is also one of our residents who is blind as well. She also came from the meat industry, and she came to us after her previous owner just could not provide her with the care that she needed, being a special needs sheep. So she has this entire pasture with all of her wonderful sheep friends, and they get along fabulously. We also have 5 roosters that live in this pasture as well. 4 of those roosters were actually abandoned here on the property, and one of our roosters, Mr. Bernard, was actually found wandering around Oakland, which is definitely not an ideal place for any rooster to be, but they all live here in the same pasture with all of our beautiful sheep, and they also do sleep in the same barn together, which is pretty incredible. As we are making our way over to this main barn, I'm just going to lock and secure this gate. Perfect. All right, you guys, let's see if we can get a good glimpse here at just some of the littles that we have. Hello. All right, you guys, so I know that we're coming up on the end of our time, but I just wanted to also show you guys some of the teeny tiny adorable little ones that we were able to rescue as a part of our most recent evacuation situation. So let me just come inside here. All right, everybody. So this is Miss Olive here. She is just enjoying some of her morning breakfast. And we also have our itty bitty little ones that we were able to take in as well. Like I mentioned, all 4 of these beauties are going to their forever home, but they definitely did need to have a safe haven as a result of the glass fire. And every single day here has been such a joy, just knowing that they're safe and that we get to see them springing around and just being super duper happy. I did see a question come through that asked how many workers and how many volunteers we have. And that's a wonderful question. As far as workers, we do have, I believe, 9 staff members right now. The majority of our staff members are in our animal care department, because that is definitely one of the most vital departments that we have. We also have our program and office manager, Kaylee, and we also have other staff members like myself who assist with education, in-person and virtual tours. So we do have roughly about 9 staff members right now, and also a ton of volunteers. Because of COVID-19, we did have to scale back just a little bit on our volunteer program, but we have recently been opening things back up. We do have regular volunteers that come to us now every single day. I believe we have anywhere between 5 and 8 volunteers that come here during a single day period. And we're also going to be restarting our volunteer orientations as well, which is super duper exciting. So I would say total, we probably have at least a good 45 or 50 volunteers that are signed up with us right now. And many of those volunteers do come out here rather regularly, whether it's once a week, whether it is once a month, once every couple of weeks. It really all depends on their schedule, but we do have some volunteers like Al, for example, who comes out here about 4 to 5 times a week, really just to focus on socializing with some of our special needs animals and also helping to take care of their habitats here. So definitely all of the work that our volunteers do is absolutely vital, whether it's socializing, whether it's helping with grooming, whether it's helping to clean and maintain their habitats. All of that work is so, so important in providing these animals with that safe and loving and secure environment. So thank you for asking that question. That was a great one. Do we have any other questions for me about the work that we do here or about our adorable animals?
Brenda, I know that you have 150 permanent residents. How many with the additional evacuee temporary residents, how many do you currently have?
That's a great question. So right now, since our 9 evacuated horses did return home yesterday, right now we are at 154, and that is including the 4 adorable goats that we have here on our screen. So these 4 evacuees are actually the only ones that we currently have, and they will be returning to their permanent home either today or tomorrow. And the 9 evacuated horses that we took in did return to their permanent home yesterday. So right now we are at 154.
Oh, those little babies are so adorable.
They are just the sweetest. And I know that we have been flooding our social media with just so many adorable pictures of these guys because they are just, I mean, what can you say about baby goats? I mean, they are just the best thing ever. I know yesterday when I was in here, little Devin, this black and white little cutie, he was actually experimenting with these stairs here and he was just jumping around and springing around just like a little slinky, and it was just the cutest little thing that I've ever seen. But yes, we definitely spend a lot of time with not only our permanent residents but also with our evacuees because we want them to know that it is a safe and secure environment, and that we, even though we're new humans that they're meeting, that we are also a positive and loving source of compassion for them. So we definitely spend a ton of time with our evacuated residents as well. And how could you not? They're just so adorable.
I love that your residents, they all have such unique and varied stories. It's so interesting to hear how many animals you've been able to take in from such a wide variety of abusive situations, like the teacup pig situations. I'm sure that happens more often than people realize. And then rescuing from testing situations and dairy situations is just really amazing. How do people get in touch with you when they find out about a rescue? For example, with the Beagle Freedom Project, did they just reach out to you directly to take in the pigs?
That's a wonderful question. And yes, people actually do reach out to us in various ways. I know that our animal care manager does have a very wide network of both organization managers and activists and a ton of people within the community that do keep us up to date if there are any animals that are in need. And we also do have other individuals that reach out to us just by email as well. So we do get a ton of inquiries regarding animals that do need rescue and sanctuary. And with us being a full capacity sanctuary, like I mentioned before in our other tour, we are technically at capacity with our permanent residents having 150, but we definitely do have extra space here for temporary evacuees. So I know that prior to this recent rescue with the 9 horses and our 4 beautiful goats here, we did actually take in, it was a total of 70 evacuated animals. 5 of those were actually humans. So 65 non-human animals and 5 humans. And we were actually able to provide them with temporary home and housing here on site for about 5 weeks until they were able to get established and rebuild and be able to go to their permanent home. So we can either do short-term rescues, such as these little itty bitty goats here, or we can do long-term temporary rescues as well. I know that especially with the fires, we have had, like I said, a ton of individuals that have been reaching out to us in multiple ways, but I know our animal care manager has also been very much on top of it, reaching out to organizations via social media, contacting organizations to see if they're safe, making sure that everybody knows that if they need a place to go temporarily, that we are available. But yes, even if we do receive an inquiry from an individual that is looking for a permanent home for an animal, we are not able to take in permanent residents at this time, but like I said, we are happy to take in temporary residents and be able to provide them with that temporary home in order for them to find a permanent place of housing. But yes, we have people reach out to us via phone, by email, by social media, lots of different ways. And like I said, our staff here is also very much on top of that, and we're always keeping our networks open. I know that with another larger scale rescue that we did a few months back, it was involving, I believe, 50 hens that we helped to provide temporary housing to. Our animal care staff actually got that call at about 2 in the morning, and they literally jumped up, were ready to go, and they were out the door once they knew that those animals needed rescue. So once we get that call and as soon as we know what's happening, our staff is ready. And that is one of the most beautiful things that I really love about being a part of this team here, is that we're so focused on not only rescuing these residents and providing them with a safe home, but also really emphasizing community as well, and really just maintaining all of those positive relationships, helping to create new lasting friendships with all of the amazing humans that we meet. And we're just so incredibly grateful that we're able to do this amazing work and be able to meet so many wonderful humans, and of course save the lives of so many animals.
And if people are interested in volunteering, how do they do that?
That's a great question. So I know that we are just going to be doing another volunteer orientation very soon. I believe the best way, if you are interested in volunteering, is visiting us on our website, which is www.charliesacres.org. And there is actually a tab there that says Get Involved. And there is a tab that is right under that that says Volunteer. And if you do click on that link, you should be brought to a small little volunteer application that just request some more information about the type of work that you're interested in doing and how you heard about us here at Charlie's Acres. And our office manager, Kaylee, will then reach out to you to schedule an orientation. I know I'm going to be working very closely with Kaylee as well in the upcoming volunteer trainings. So you guys may also get to meet me in person very soon. And definitely, like I said, please check out our website if you are interested in getting involved. We are definitely bringing more volunteers back into the fold here, which is absolutely amazing. I know having 150 residents, there's always something to do, whether it is scoop and poop or socializing or helping with feeding. There's always lots of things that are just so valuable for the well-being of these animals, and we would love to have your help here.
And our ACE co-host Deidre just dropped a link in the chat, so it's right there for you folks.
Excellent.
And it's also available on our vendors page on our sfworldvegfest.org website. If you go to the vendors page, you will find the link to Charlie's Acres, and you can also donate there directly to Charlie's Acres. Thank you so much, Brenda, for all of the work you do, and thank you for taking time out of your busy day to give us a tour. It's always good to check in with you. We love seeing all the animals, and we really, really appreciate visiting with you today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so, so much. And again, it's always a joy to see you, Christy. This is just such an amazing thing that you have set up here. And I really wish that I could have been that I could have seen the entire Veg Fest unfold. I know I would love to tune in next year if I'm not assisting with the tour, of course. But definitely, I want to say thank you again to all of you for viewing today. Thank you guys all so much for your support and for all of your donations. And definitely, please feel free to pay us a visit in person. I know we would love to see you. I know our animals would love to meet you. And of course, if there's anything else that we can do for you, you can always send us an email at info@charliesacres.org. But we certainly look forward to seeing all of you guys soon. And again, thank you so much for having us as a part of this event, Christy. This was amazing.
Thank you for being a part, Brenda. We really appreciate it. We love you guys, and we'll definitely be checking back in soon.
That sounds perfect. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.